Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my first tutorial series. So this tutorial series is going to be on the SqLite database. So this is if you want to build an app in which you're saving data, which you will then retrieve later on in the app. So when you open and close the app, any data you save is recovered and not lost. So what I've done recently is I've created an app myself. So it's just a very simple shopping list app. You can find this in the Google Play Store. And I'm going to be basing my tutorial on this app. It's not going to be quite the same app. It's going to involve the same processes, the same coding. And then from the tutorial, you should be able to make a very similar app or any app which you like. So just to give you a quick demonstration of what we're going to be learning, you're going to have a edit text in which you'll be able to put some data. You can have a save button in which you'll save the data. In this case, we're saving it to a list view. So we can do this multiple times. So test 2, for example, and then it will populate the list view. I'm also going to implement a delete button or a delete function into our database. So if we want to delete any data from the database, and that's going to be all together in 5 videos. If there's any other SqLite database functionalities you want me to cover, so for example, I could cover updating, please let me know in the comment section, and let's get started on this tutorial. Okay, so for the interest of time and not spending 10 minutes going through the XML layout for this video, I've put together the layout as you can see in the preview screen on the right hand side here, and I can just show you that it's a framed layout which has a constrained layout inside it. We have an edit text where we're going to input our data to the database, a button to save, and then the linear layout which holds our list view. So if you want to copy this, please just pause the screen and copy the code as shown. Okay, so there's a number of components what we need to do to get our edit text saved into our SqLite database and then repopulated into our list view. First of all, we obviously need to create a database. We need to create constants for that database, and we need to create an adapter to display the data from the database. So what we'll do is we'll right click on our project name here, and we'll create some packages which we can then populate with Java classes for each of those factors. If we right click, we say new package. So we're going to have a data package. A model package. And an adapter package. What we'll do first is we'll create our database and our constants classes. So we say right click on the data and go to class, and we'll call this database handler. And what we'll do is also we'll create our constants. The constants are used to make the database. It's just a simpler way. So we define our constants in our constants table, so we don't have to keep rewriting our column names. We can just grab them from our constants class. So what we'll do is we'll do this right now. So we're going to say public static final string, and we'll call this database name. This can be called SqLite tutorial. And then anything else we need, we just add here. So we say the version as well, and that's going to be an int. We've got this database version. That's just going to be version 1 to start with. And then we need any other columns which we're going to put into our database. So in this case, we only have one column, which is going to be our edit text. So we can call this database edit text. And the column ID can be exactly the same, or we can just put it as edit text value. Edit text value. Okay, the only other thing I'll add there is a key ID. So each row we put into our database will have its own ID. And we'll just call this ID. So before we move on from our constants, I just need to add the table name itself. That's public static final string, and then we'll just call this table name. And then you can call the table name whatever you like. In this case, call it SqLite. And we go on to our database handler. So I think that's a good place to wrap up for our first video. So in this video, we've just created our classes, and we've put together our constants to be used in our database. So in the next video, we'll be actually constructing our database to be used for our app. Okay, see you there.